You ever leave a worship service and just feel kind of flat, like you were just watching a show? It's a pretty common feeling, actually. But maybe we're asking the wrong question. What if worship isn't about what we get, but about what we give? So let's dig into that. We're going to explore this really powerful shift from just being an audience to actually being a participant. I mean, just listen to this quote. Worship was like the lover who stole my heart. Wow. That's not about a weekly chore, is it? That's a love affair. It totally reframes worship as something passionate, something personal. And that really sets the stage for everything we're about to dive into. And look, this isn't just a nice poetic idea. For Christians, worship is, well, it's the whole foundation. It's not an optional extra, not a side dish. It's the main course. And if you take that away, everything else in the spiritual life can feel kind of shaky. Okay, so if worship is that fundamental, why does it feel like we're always tinkering with it? Let's talk about the changing landscape of worship today and, some of the challenges that come with that. I mean, just think about it. How much have worship styles changed in our lifetimes? We've seen everything from rock bands to cafe-style services, all in an effort to connect with people today. But you have to wonder, has this constant search for what's next or what works maybe led us a little off track? Yeah, you can really see the trend here. Back in the 90s, you had open worship, which was all about making newcomers feel comfortable. Then in the 2000s, we got talk worship, which was more conversational. The whole pattern seems to be about making the experience more appealing for the person in the seat. But is that really the point? And that leads us to the million-dollar question, right? Can you actually manufacture a spiritual experience? Like, if you get the lighting just right and the band is amazing, does that automatically equal a real encounter with God? Or is there something else going on? And here's the core argument from the source material. The real power of worship, it doesn't come from a fog machine or a killer guitar solo. It comes from God. And maybe, just maybe, by focusing so much on the packaging, we're missing the actual gift inside. So this forces us to completely reframe the conversation. We've been asking, how should we worship? But maybe the real question, the much more important question is, who is worship for? Because trust me, the answer to that question changes absolutely everything. Okay, so look at this breakdown. It makes it super clear. On one side, you've got human-centered worship. The focus is all on me. Did I like the music? Was the sermon good for me? But on the other side, you have God-centered worship. The focus shifts entirely to Him. It stops being about what I can get, and it becomes all about what I can give. And that right there, that is a total game changer. Think about it. When we treat worship like a performance, we automatically become critics sitting in the audience, right? We're just judging it. But when we see it as an offering, suddenly we're on stage. We're part of it. We're not just consuming something, we're actively participating. Okay, so what does that actually look like to offer worship? How do we, get out of the stands and onto the field? Well, first off, offering worship isn't about trying to work up some kind of intense feeling. It's simpler than that. It's just a response, a practical, lived-out response to God's grace. In this way of thinking, we're not the audience at all. He is. And it all starts with an encounter. A real, genuine encounter with God. When that happens, the only natural response is just awe, a sense of reverence. And it's out of that awe that a desire to offer something back, to give of ourselves, just naturally flows. So you see, it really comes down to a decision. It's an active choice to jump in and engage, not just to sit back and watch from a distance. It's all about the posture of your heart, even before you walk in the door. Are you showing up to watch a show, or are you showing up to participate? And here's where it gets really big. This whole idea of offering worship, it's not just a Sunday morning thing. It's supposed to be a way of life. So let's talk about how our everyday lives can actually become an act of worship. There's this great quote from the theologian John Macquarie. He says that worship is the central element. Basically, it's the glue that binds our faith, what we believe, to our life, how we actually live. They aren't meant to be two separate things. They're supposed to be totally connected. And think about the implication of that. It's huge. If our daily lives, our Monday through Saturday, are completely disconnected from our faith, then what happens on Sunday? Well, it starts to feel like a hollow ritual, doesn't it? It's like trying to light a fire with soaking wet wood. It just won't catch. So the big takeaway here is that worship isn't supposed to be this separate, isolated activity we do for an hour a week.
It's meant to be embedded in our daily lives. The main goal is to glorify God, which means a life lived for God becomes the truest form of worship there is.
So, where does all this leave us? Well, it boils down to a pretty fundamental choice, a choice we each have to make every single time we gather for worship. And here are the two paths, side by side. You have the spectator worshiper. This person evaluates everything, the music, the sermon, even the decor. They're always asking, what did I get out of it? And the results? They just become a critic. Then you have the offering worshiper. They participate in every part of it as an offering. They experience grace and transformation. The results? They become a true worshiper. It's a stark difference, isn't it? So you see, in the end, all the debates about style, traditional versus modern, hymns versus praise bands, it all kind of misses the point. The format is secondary. The real question, the one that actually matters, is about the posture of your heart. Are you there to get, or are you there to give? And really, what this all hinges on is faith. I mean, think about it. You can't sincerely offer a gift to someone you don't believe exists. This quote from Hebrews says it all. You have to believe. Faith is the engine that turns a spectator into a participant. So the choice we're left with is actually pretty profound. It's the difference between, say, watching an incredible story unfold from the back row and actually being invited up on stage to become a character in that story. One is just passive consumption. The other is active, life-changing participation. And so that brings us to the final question, the one for you to think about. The next time you walk into a place of worship, what posture are you bringing with you? Are you there to watch, or are you there to offer? What kind of worshiper are you?